Hey, how you guys doing?
I'm
Doing.
back.
What an intro is. I mean, I was in Vegas last week. This is Cyber Unfiltered. We welcome you. We're welcoming a group of professionals. I just wanted to call us professionals for once. But
Use that
you,
term.
Of course, you're professional.
last week I was professional. I actually was on stage. I did two panels and I didn't drop an F bomb. So everybody should clap for that one.
Did you have a timer for that one?
I should get an award for that.
You get an
Yeah.
award.
For not dropping F bombs on stage. All right. Today, I want to talk about Anthropic Mythos. The single greatest announcement I've seen where tech stocks dumped, cybersecurity stocks dumped, people panicked, all because Anthropic released a nice little 245-page report about this new model that they won't even release, that they then produced a project, Glasswing. I think that's what it is. Better verify that. But yeah.
So, what did the model do?
Well, let's just start with a little bit of story. So they announced that this model did something really cool. They created it, they put it in a sandbox. It had no internet access, no tools, and they told it to escape. And then the guy went, and then Sam Bowman decided to go eat a sandwich in the park, and he got a message from the model saying it had escaped. Not only that, it posted the exploit on several websites, unprompted. So it was called the sandwich incident. Yeah. Now you understand kind of why people were freaking out and why they aren't releasing the model right away. But
Look, it's nicer than Skynet. It just interrupted his sandwich and tattled on it. So, I mean, didn't.
yeah, I mean, it
That's
didn't do anything bad. This is the first report that I've seen from anybody saying that something a model has escaped a sandbox like this.
Mhm.
I guess it. What do you guys think about this? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear this?
We're all doomed.
That's not the answer. Come on, guys. You can't be doom and gloom here on this pod.
I don't
Initially,
know. I wonder how sensationalized it is. I really, really can't wait to learn more details. It's freaky, but I'm very curious, to be honest.
I think it's
a very general statement. Pizza. Well, yeah, it should order us all pizza. I mean, that's really doing a service.
I mean, tokens are real right now. So
order the pizza, huh?
Yeah, should order pizza and just deliver it to the guy. So I read part of the report. I didn't read all 245 pages because, quite frankly, that's a book, and I'm not going to read a book for this. But it's definitely, they didn't design the model around this, right? Like they designed the model for coding and stuff like that. Then they figured out that it was really good at looking at software and then finding 0 days. So vulnerabilities that hadn't been found before. And they decided that, hey, instead of releasing this to the public, we're gonna do something called Project Glasswing, and we're gonna invite in like Google, Amazon, JP Morgan Chase, and a bunch of other companies to actually look at this and show them this, because apparently it had already found vulnerabilities in almost every piece of software that they've thrown at it.
Wow.
We made a very efficient hacker that I would hope stays ethical, but it's freaky.
But it was just a byproduct because it was just supposed to get smarter at coding. So they made it smarter at coding, but then this is what happened. And it's kind of an interesting read. They say it's a byproduct anyway. And then on top of that, there was a lovely report that there's a Chinese lab that released an open weight model that has like allegedly 95% of Mythos coding performance. So my question to you guys is it a viable safety strategy now to withhold this, or is there something deeper we have to do?
Be the biggest game of cat and mouse in IT yet.
Well, exactly. And remember, this is the same company
cat and mouse game, Matt. And
fair point.
Cat's getting really damn big.
There was always the philosophy around antivirus companies were writing viruses so that they could sell their antivirus tools. So, it's a constant cat and mouse.
It's an intelligence arms race.
Yeah.
It really is.
Think about it this way, though. Does what Anthropic said, they said it was a byproduct, right, of making a smarter coding agent. Is that more or less alarming to you?
Honestly, I almost want to say predictable. Because we created something to completely understand how everything interlinks in the software world. It did just that. And by understanding that, it's going to see things we don't see because it can read through everything instantly. Stay on its good side, I think, is what I'm thinking.
Talk nice.
Cat's out of the bag. It's a big kitty.
Like, to that point, it found OpenBSD is Unix. It found a vulnerability that had existed for 27 years.
Well, and I feel like we should define that OpenBSD is, uses the basis of so many security firewalls and secure systems because it's just known to be rock solid. It's like the ancient bedrock to many systems. So it's a gold standard for security hardened operating systems. And think about this. That's went through decades of manual audits, automated testing, and nobody found it. And now I think this vulnerability could just crash the operating system. It couldn't they couldn't take it over, but they could crash it. But it can do it without any access except, hitting it from the WAN side, basically unauthenticated. So if you want to crash a network, make them disconnect for a while, and it's based on that. Now it can, I suppose.
There was in Firefox, they did an exploit rate. And the previous best model succeeded 1% of the time. Mythos succeeded 72.4% of the time.
Well, it's a good penetration testing tool.
Well,
now
is it like a nuke? I mean, is this like the first kind of nuke class AI where do we use it for good or do we use it for bad? What happens here?
So if we frame this differently, an independent analysis did look at the Firefox rate. And if they removed 2 particularly exploitable bugs, it dropped from 72.4% to 4.4%. Still better than 1%.
Yeah. So
there's some pushback here on this. There was a Linux kernel it exploited. It didn't find individual bugs. What it was able to do was chain multiple race conditions, and then it used a bypass to get into a singular attack that escalated an ordinary user into full root access. Now that is more of a realistic thing in the world that could happen. It found a memory corruption flaw in FFmpeg, which has been used for video codecs forever. Yeah. They've looked at it with fuzzing tools trying to find this, and they've never been able to find it. And Mythos was able to find it and bypass it.
Well, it's a good tool to help us harden and secure networks. Just we go through and do it, but people still need to install these updates or update their processes to use the new platforms, which they won't. So, we just open the whole can of worms.
Everything again.
So, what does this do to a traditional pen test? Right? What does it do for the discovery expertise? Because you take humans, we take hours to do things. If AI can do in hours what it takes or minutes, a team maybe takes hours to days to weeks. What happens to that market?
Someone still needs to validate the results and understand what's going on. So it doesn't make it go away. It makes everybody more efficient.
So let me just name.
There's going to be some rearrangement, though. It's almost like the steam engine invention.
So now that we have that quick conversation, now we go into who's in Project Glasswing, right? So there's 12 primary partners: Amazon with AWS, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Cisco, CrowdStrike, NVIDIA, Broadcom, Palo Alto Networks, JP Morgan Chase. Why they only chose one bank beyond me. They picked the Linux. They have the Linux Foundation in there, and Anthropic, of course, because you couldn't exclude yourself from your own project. There's also 40 additional critical infrastructure organizations. And the goal of this is to scan and harden the code bases that underpin the global banking, energy, and logistics sector before capabilities spread to adversarial actors. So my question to you is,
will it be abused?
Like, is this just the beginning? Because if they can do this, and there's a Chinese one coming out of an open lab that claims to have 95% of the capabilities, how long before these capabilities become real in open source models?
Arms race.
Yep.
It really is an arms race at this point.
And Anthropic, with their bleeding heart, has committed $100 million in usage credits to this group, $4 million in credits to indirect donations, and $2.5 million to OpenSF through the Linux Foundation. So, if you haven't looked at the cost of Mythos,
hey guys, sorry, we may have created Skynet. We're going to try to contain it because we don't want to, crash our own stuff either. We didn't mean to almost destroy society. Okay,
we're going to give you some usage tokens, but as soon as those usage tokens are out, you're going to pay us because the usage of Mythos is not cheap. It's kind of crazy. So, but what does it say? I'll turn this over to you guys. What does it say when you go to your rivals like Google and Microsoft and Apple, and you say, "Hey, we need to work together on this"?
I feel like it almost says, "Oh my God, what have we done? Come check this shit out because we need to work together." And I kind of hope that spirit continues, to be honest, because if it's this powerful in like one company's hands, that's a little scary. If it's used to secure everything before, we have this just out in the wild, good. But I also feel like this is a hero origin story or a bad person origin story, like the way many comics start too.
I think, Matt, you really hit it on the head. This really is turning into an arms race.
So I'm glad you said arms race.
Okay.
You couldn't have teed this up better for me. Now let's go back to March when the Department of Defense designated them as a supply chain risk, Anthropic. So the company that's designated as supply chain risk because they told the government no, now sets up its own project with competitors because it sees the future. It sees the future that we all have to work together to protect the very fabric that runs our country, the businesses that exist, the data that's out there. And where's the government in all this? The government decides that they're a supply chain risk and they don't want to actually be part of this. However, Scott Bessent went in front of the banks and brought this to them. So they are playing ball while they're also calling them a supply chain risk. So when you look at a threat like this, to your point, Matt, where's the government in all this?
You know how hard I try to avoid getting political, but
this isn't politics. This is straight up government at this point.
Yeah, they effed up. Plain and simple. They got adversarial. And here we are. Because,
shouldn't CISA be part of this?
Absolutely. That's why CISA exists.
CISA got gutted, isn't it?
They're starting to bring some people back, but they did get cut, significant cuts.
Yeah, some of the
shutdown didn't help
because they're part of the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, folks, that's Cybersecurity, Infrastructure, and Security Administration. It's the folks that are supposed to be in charge of this kind of stuff.
Well, anyway, this is a topic that we're going to be able to talk about for weeks and maybe months on end.
But it will be. But there is some information that came out today. So I think we all agree the government should be involved in this. The regulation. I don't even think this is regulation at this point because I think this is just out in the wild. It's like, how can we work together to be faster and things like that? But the UK, their AI Security Institute, did publish an independent evaluation, and they ran it through a 32-step corporate network attack simulation called the Last Ones. And that was super interesting because human takes about 20 hours to complete it. Mythos only completed all 32 steps, 3 out of 10 attempts. So it does show that this isn't as cut and dry as you would think. Because it's for coding, it can identify 0 days, it can change certain things together. But it's the first AI model to solve the full simulation end to end.
But it doesn't always connect the dots properly.
But it was only successful 30% of the time. But the previous best was Opus 4.6, which is their last model, and it only got through half the steps. That was the best it ever did. And on average, Mythos only got through 22 of the 32 steps. So yeah, they ran it 10 attempts, but they only completed it 3 times. Here's the thing. This wasn't run against a network that had defenders monitoring the network. There was no endpoint detection response tool running. There was no SIM generating alerts. There was no incident response team reacting in real time. No SOC team. No consequences for tripping an alarm. So yes, the model is something that we have to be worrisome about as it gets out there. But when you look at it, what we can kind of conclude is it's not there yet. Not to say it won't be. If you're not running an insecure network, if you have a hardened network and you have a lot of these tools in place, these controls in place, you don't have as much to worry about as what initially came out.
I think the point is the clock is getting faster every year to lock things down.
It highlights the importance of do the basic things now. Well, you should have been doing the basic things before, but like the quicker you get to that point, the less this matters. Now, who knows? In 6 months, this might be all BS, and it might just be to the point where it's like, it doesn't really matter. Now we're just going to bypass your endpoint detection response. We're going to do all this stuff. But the recommendation here is to invest in cybersecurity fundamentals. Get ready now, because this isn't slowing down. This is anything but slowing down. And also, this model is incredibly expensive. So for attackers to use this model specifically, it's going to cost a lot of money. Don't necessarily see that realistically in the near future. But how many more models are going to catch up?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's everything continues to escalate a little hockey stick like, a little faster. So I think it's kind of I've used the phrase before. It's a warning shot off the bow of what's coming, and it tends to come though.
Yeah, I mean. Maybe this is the way we say it. The AI isn't coming for the companies that do the work, do the basic fundamentals. It's coming for the ones that don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're listening, we hope you are, and you're not sure whether your defenses would hold up against what we just talked about, it's time to take action.
I know a guy.
Well,
you know a guy?
3 guys, 5 guys, 10 guys.
I know a bunch of guys that can help you.
There's plenty of guys. Right. There's plenty of companies that need help right now.
Take the action. Talk to somebody. Even if it's not one of us, talk to somebody. Start assessing where you are. Have a security program. If you don't have one today, you need to start talking to somebody about getting one. Because this stuff is real. This stuff is accelerating. It's not going away anytime soon. And the longer you wait, the more of a target you're going to be. What they pretty much concluded is small businesses, medium-sized businesses who don't actually invest in cybersecurity are the ones that are going to get hit with automated attacks first.
Yep.
So this is a fun one. I'm gonna try. We'll try. I got one for next week too. Do you guys remember Power School?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was actually talking about it this morning.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun.
Here we go again.
Next week. We'll talk about Power School next week.
Power School next week. Until then, guys, I'll see you then.
Later, everyone.